Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Lacey Adams, the Director of Lifespan Faith Development here at Heritage. We're so excited to have you with us this morning for our Thanksgiving Sunday. Let's start with just a few announcements. If you happen to have your phone on right now, go ahead and turn it onto airplane mode, not just off or on airplane mode, not just on silent. That both gives us the space for you to participate most fully in worship with us here, but it also helps our bandwidth so that for those of our folks who are on Zoom, we can ensure they have the best experience getting what is happening in here into the interwebs, as one might say. Also, make sure, I know that this season is a busy one, but like the vast world around us, Heritage has many exciting things that are happening here in our context. And if you want to know more about those things, you want to go ahead and check the announcements on the back of the page. I know that often you're like, oh, I'm reading this order of service. Not you, me. I know I'm like, oh, yes, great order of service. Oh, all those words in the back. I'll just save that for another time. But those words on the back are lovely and represent lovely opportunities for you to connect more fully with this community. So take a moment. And, it's bolded, the parts that are maybe just skim the bold parts. Now, who is our board greeter today? Who is our board greeter? Who is our, yes. Who is our greeter from the board? It's Jamie outside. Okay. Oh, yes. Bill? Yes. Okay. So the greeter from the board is Jamie Castle, who is outside. If you have questions, and is coming and waving. Jamie's standing in the back. So if you are a visitor with us today, and a special welcome. If you are here in the sanctuary and have questions about our community, would like a tour of the building, would like more information, make sure to connect with Jamie. Also, make sure that you sign our guest book so that we have a way of getting in touch with you going forward. And for those who are on Zoom, there is a link to a virtual guest book there so that you can also help us stay connected with you. All right. With that in mind, we're going to turn to a special announcement from Louise Lawari.
Good morning. I'm Louise Lawari, and Heritage, you may hear from time to time, is a member of the organization ACRU, Anderson Churches for Racial Unity. In light of the war in Israel and our concern for both our Jewish and our Muslim brothers and sisters, both here and around the world, ACRU, together as a combination of churches in this area, it will be sending a letter that Heritage has signed on to. So I'm going to read to you this short letter so that you know the message that our congregation is sending to our brothers and sisters here in Cincinnati, and it will go to both to the Jewish and to the Muslim houses of worship. To our beloved Jewish and Muslim neighbors, as the world turns toward darkness while war rages in the Middle East and acts of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia skyrocket in the U.S., we reach out to you in the spirit of Isaac Pennington, who wrote, "Our life is love and peace and tenderness, and bearing one with another, and forgiving one another, and not laying accusations on one another, but praying for one another, and helping one another up with a tender hand. We, the undersigned churches of the Anderson Township area, offer you our tender hands, our prayers for peace, and our undying faith that as light returns in the spring, so too does the power of love overcome hate. Peace. Shalom. Salam." So this message is going out in all of your names, as well as many of the other congregations in the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise, and thank you, Anderson Churches for Racial Unity. Good morning, Heritage.
Good morning.
I'd like you to help me with this morning's call to worship by reading responsively the words that will shortly appear on your screen. You guys are bold and italic and scooted off to the side. For the sun and the dawn, which we did not create.
For the moon and the evening, which we did not make.
For food which we plant but cannot grow.
For friends and loved ones we have not earned and cannot buy.
For this gathered company, which welcomes us as we are from wherever we have come.
For all our free churches that encourage us in our quest for beauty, truth, and love.
For all things which come to us from sources beyond ourselves.
Gifts of life and love and friendship, we lift up our hearts in thanks this day.
Those of you who've been part of this congregation for a while may recall that I once had the privilege of attending Thanksgiving Sunday worship at what is sometimes referred to as the Thanksgiving Church in Massachusetts, where they proudly sing "Over the River and Through the Wood" by Lydia Maria Child, which legend has it was first sung there in that Unitarian church where she was a member. You may know that Child was an early 19th century abolitionist, but what is less well known about her is that she was also one of the first white people in New England to speak out for Native American rights. After my trip to Massachusetts that November, all those years ago now, we have occasionally shared in that church's tradition of singing "Over the River" on Thanksgiving Sunday, and we revived that tradition this morning with Sherry McCamley to lead us. So Sherry, please take us back in time and take us over the river to grandmother's house and sing along.
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. The horses away to carry the sleigh through the white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the woods, oh how the wind does blow. It stings the toes and bites the nose as over the ground we go. Over the river and through the woods, run fast my double gray. Spring over the ground like a hunting hound, for it is Thanksgiving Day. Over the river and through the woods, down grandmother's hat I spy. Hurrah for the fun as the pudding done, hurrah for the pumpkin pie.
And now to be a little more serious. By this covenant we affirm that love is the spirit of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
All right, go ahead and be seated. Who loves bread? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who loves making bread? Okay. All right. Who has a love-hate relationship with making bread? Often, when we make bread, so before we had all these exciting and newfangled electric devices that help us make bread, like bread makers or mixers, the work of making dough was work of the hands. Who of our bread makers here, who still needs your dough by hand? Okay. It is something of a dying practice now that we have things like mixers with dough hooks or special machines that will make the bread. But I think on this Sunday, I wanted to take an opportunity to think about the power of kneading to help us get centered. Anytime we do any gesture repetitively, it has the potential of being a form of meditation. Let me say that again, because I think, for a long time when I thought of meditation, I thought of, kind of esoteric states of, exaltation that required something of me which I never had in myself, right? And when I really got meditation was when I realized that meditation can be almost anything that requires your attention and can be done more than once, okay? And during Peace Camp, we meditate with the kids, and we do all sorts of things as meditation. We walk as meditation, we blow bubbles as meditation, we laugh as meditation. And that's groundbreaking in my mind to think that all of these things can be meditation. Well, guess what? Kneading can also be meditation. And that's what we do with bread. When we are preparing bread, we're folding and we're kneading, and we're giving the bread time to sort of to incorporate and for us to be a part of that work. Now, not all of us, as we have demonstrated, are bread makers, and not all of us are going to run home and knead some dough to make some bread today. So after we speak today, if you are in need of some dough for meditation, please feel free to come and find a little bit of Play-Doh. They are tiny little 1 ounces of Play-Doh that you can take with you. And this little 1 ounce container, if you put the Play-Doh back in, you can keep with you, and it can travel in your purse or your bag, in your car, in any sort of things where you might keep your fidgets, so that you have the supplies for meditation at any moment. And for our kids, you can put these in your book bag. So anytime you need a moment of meditation, it's right here waiting for you. So the important thing about meditating while kneading is about our intention to it. Intention is a big word, right? We might not all know what that means, but it means we need to be able to focus on what we're doing. We need to give all of our focus to this one thing. So if you're kneading, it's about keeping all of your focus on your hands and the dough. Not all of this stuff out here in the world. There's a lot of that everywhere. We push that away, and we move our attention to our hands and the dough. And we make the movement over and over. We fold and knead, we fold and knead, we fold and knead. And as we do that, it lets us center on our thoughts in our head and our bodies, so we know what we might need. Those moments of meditation help truths come alive for us. It helps us sort of come to know what we are experiencing in a deeper way. It helps us to sort of get a hold of things that might be hard to get a hold of when everything else is happening around us. And this is what meditation does for us. Now, I think that this ground-shattering thought I had about meditation also, I think, is helpful to think about. If anything can be meditation, right, it's worth also thinking about the diversity of other things we experience this Sunday. We will have options for different kinds of bread. And as we think about the different breads we have, it makes me think about the different kinds of foods we eat on these Thanksgiving holidays, and how the kinds of foods we eat are about the kinds of places we come from. The kinds of bread we bake have to do with the kinds of places we come from. Not everyone makes these kinds of breads. There might be cornbreads. In my house growing up, at Thanksgiving, we would have cornbread. Not something we see at our table now. Maybe something that you don't normally serve in your Thanksgiving holidays. And we have cornbread stuffing in my home, in my parents' home, not in my home, because my cornbread stuffing is not very good. But if we were in Native communities, we might have fry breads, if we were in parts of New England where the first Thanksgiving occurred, we might be eating foods with corn or cranberries. That the place of us, the place where we come from, also influences the kind of foods that we have. And so as we see this diversity of bread, it gives us an opportunity to think of the diversities in which we experience here. as there are different breads and different customs around bread, so it is true that there are different communities, and our community is one amongst many, and that this tradition is our tradition, is a tradition that we do as a part of our community. So things are both, foods are both very universal, but they are also very specific. So those are all things that I want you to think about in these holiday seasons, in this time of eating and family and gathering, to celebrate what is universal about that experience, but is also what is very particular about that experience. And when we hold those two things together during the holidays, then we can come to sort of deeper understandings of what the holiday has for us. Thank you. Oh, it is here. Play-Doh is right here, okay? So if when you come up, you would like to get a Play-Doh and put it in your pocket, these are for you to take with you so that you might continue to have an opportunity to knead and meditate in this busy holiday season.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Jo. As Lacey indicated, of course, this week, we celebrate Thanksgiving. This month, we'll also be celebrating Native American Heritage Month. Many of us know that there have been other people that have stewarded and cared for this land before we arrived here. The Miamia, the Shawnee. Shawnee is not a name they called themselves. It's a name that the settlers and the colonizers gave to them. This land is now stewarded by us and by many other people. There's an organization called the Urban Native Collective that was started in the 1970s. They've had many leaders and many names. They started as a grassroots effort to try and lift up Native peoples. And some of their recent accomplishments are, in 2019, you may remember the young men from Covington Catholic ended up in Washington, D.C., and we can all probably see that young man's MAGA hat and all of the things that ensued after that. And the Urban Native Collective stepped in to offer a different perspective on how to view that incident and the things that transpired from there. They also were instrumental in giving the Cincinnati City an opportunity to let go of Columbus Day and to now celebrate Indigenous Persons Day. So they do a lot of things. One of their mission statements says that they are here to preserve and represent the culture and heritage of Native, Indigenous, and First Nations people. We will gratefully receive the offering for the Urban Native Collective.
Thank you, one and all, for your generous contributions to the Urban Native Collective this Thanksgiving Sunday morning. As Lacey mentioned, there are a lot of exciting things coming up this holiday season at Heritage Church. We'll be putting up our sanctuary Christmas tree right here, decorating the sanctuary pretty soon. Of course, there's our annual holiday pageant Sunday and our traditional Christmas Eve candlelight service. And since people are asking, since Christmas Eve is on Sunday, yes, Virginia, we have a service on Sunday.
The process begins with interest-free microloans to artisans who create beautiful items from repurposed or recycled materials that are available. The artists are paid a fair price for their work before it is exported. So if you purchase an item that is on sale, the artist has already been paid full price. 10,000 Villages provides a market to bring these goods to our communities. This work provides a safety net for families in developing countries and empowers these communities to be independent. At this time, 10,000 Villages contracts with more than 75 artisan groups from over 30 developing countries, with over 60% of the artisans being women. Countries include Indonesia, India, Cambodia, Thailand, Nepal, Bangladesh, Colombia, and Guatemala, to name just a few. One of my favorite items we sell is the Sacred Sari Throw, which is 100% cotton created from recycled cotton saris. They are 84 by 38 inches long, and each one is unique, reversible, and washable. They come in many different colors and designs. These throws are made by a group of artisans called Sacred Mark, which is part of a larger organization called Pack a Tree. They are a group of Bangladesh women who were on the streets as sex workers and are now living a stable life where they can provide homes, food, school, and medical care for their children. Many of these beautiful throws have a small patch sewn on them, which signifies that the woman who made it is patching her life together. Another item I love is jewelry from Cambodia called Bombs to Peace. These artisans are using fragments from the bombs that were dropped on their country during recent wars to make beautiful rings, earrings, and Dove for Peace pins and necklaces. 10,000 Villages has a wide variety of handmade items for the kitchen, decorator items, birdhouses, chimes, self-care items such as soaps, candles, incense, as well as beautiful greeting cards. We also have planters and a lot of Christmas ornaments and decorations, a lot. We have 2 stores in Cincinnati, one in O'Brienville on Madison Road, which if you're familiar with the area, it's across from the Bonbonnery. And the other store, which is larger, is located at Harper's Point, just north of 275 on Montgomery Road, about 1.5 miles. The sale will take place the first weekend of December, Saturday, December 2nd from 10 to 3, and Sunday, December 3rd after church until 3 o'clock. Most important to realize is that 15% of everything sold at the sale will go to Heritage Church. And even better, throughout the following week, up through Saturday, December 9th, anything you purchase in either store, if you mention that you are a part of this congregation, 15% will come back to the church. So come, bring your friends, neighbors, and families, buy all your Christmas gifts, plan ahead, buy other things, and be aware that 10,000 Villages is always available to you. Keep in mind that this is a win-win-win endeavor. A win for the artisans, a win for the church, and a win for you. Come early and buy a lot.
Let us give thanks. Our altar today is filled with gifts of love and bounty from members of this congregation. Yet it still holds, as it does every Sunday, candles. Candles for our cherished ritual of community in which we offer up our individual and collective joys and sorrows. For we believe that it is in the sharing that we are healed, in the sharing that we are made whole. We begin each week by reading aloud those candle requests that have been submitted prior to the service. And as I read each joy or sorrow, Lacey will light a candle. If you're with us on Zoom today, you may type your joy or sorrow into the chat. I will read those in a moment. Our first candle was emailed of course, recognizing that there are joys and sorrows unspoken among us today, we light one final candle for those. And now, once again, the choir will bless us with their voices and their spirits.
Let our hearts not be hardened to those living on the margin. There is room at the table for everyone. This is where it all begins. This is how we gather in. There is room at the table for everyone. Burden and undone. There is room at the table for everyone. Let us sing the new world sing. This is how it all begins. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room for us all, and no gift is too small. There is room at the table for everyone. There's enough if we share. Come on, pull up a chair. There is room at the table for everyone. No matter where you are, no matter where you're from, there is room at the table for everyone. Here is now we can be the beloved community. There is room at the table for everyone. There is room at the table for everyone. There is enough to share. Come on, pull up a chair. Come to the table. Come to the table. There is room for everyone.
So yes, there is room at this table for everyone. We have come to this sanctuary or this Zoom screen today for the express purpose of gathering around the table and giving thanks. We come in reverent gratitude for the abundant blessings of our lives. And now we prepare to partake in a timeless ritual, the breaking of bread and the serving and receiving of it as a reflection of the bounty and abundance of our world. The bread you see on the altar this morning, the bread we are about to receive, was made with loving hands by volunteers in this church community. And so we give thanks to and for Ren Cialino, Reed Hester, Tracy Rassa, John Sandman, and Leela Saxena, who have baked the loaves that we will receive today in our traditional Thanksgiving communion. We truly do have an abundance of bread, of beauty, and of love this morning. As we prepare to receive this communion, we acknowledge that for some of us, the idea of receiving bread at an altar can be disconcerting, even uncomfortable. For others, it might touch deep and joyous well springs of memory. But whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path at this moment, please know that there is room at the table for everyone, and that our simple sharing at this Universalist altar, regardless of religious beliefs, age, gender, race, abilities, sexuality, ethnicity, or any of the other categories that can and far too often do exclude some from the table. Whoever you are, never forget that communion at this altar is for all souls. That said, your participation in this ritual is completely optional. For modern Universalists, the bread you see before you this morning represents a simple yet profound message. As human beings, we share in the blessings of this life. Full stop. That is all. We do not make cosmic or theological claims about this bread. It is enough that it be a symbol of the abundant life and blessings we share. And so may this Universalist bread communion be for us a tangible reminder that we are ultimately sustained not by our own actions, not by our words, not even by our deeds, but by a mysterious power that brings forth life from a seed and that moves in the hands that turn grain into body-nourishing and soul-nourishing bread. Needing can mean different things. We need that nourishment, and we need to make the bread. And remember, if you need to knead, we have Play-Doh that you can grab while you're up here as well. So now, for the ritual of blessing the bread.
Please join in the blessing of this bread by responsively reading the words that you'll see on the screen. If you are on Zoom, you may break your own bread at the appropriate moment. And if you need a moment to get some bread, now would be that time. Only bread is for breaking. The dignity and worth of each human life is not for breaking.
Bread of life we share, be food for our wholeness and strength.
Only bread is for breaking. The bonds of love and community are not for breaking.
Bread of the world we share, sustain us in love, that all may live together in harmony.
Only bread is for breaking. Our commitment to compassion and mercy is not for breaking.
Bread of life we share, be for us the nourishment that moves us to seek justice in our world.
Only bread is for breaking. The earth that is our home is not for breaking.
Bread that sustains all life on this planet, be to us the source of healing.
Only bread is for breaking. Our spirits are not for breaking.
Bread that sustains both our bodies and our spirits, be to us the source of peace, which passes all understanding.
Blessed be And let the congregation say, Amen. And now you are invited to come forward and share in our Universalist communion. Please form 2 lines along the outside walls, come forward and receive a piece of bread. Then return to your seat using the center aisle. Yes. As always, we have attempted to provide a wide variety of breads to meet as many dietary needs and restrictions as possible. Okay. I am going to give you the list now. We have sourdough. We have gluten-free, milk-free, but with eggs, i.e. not vegan bread, wheat bread, rosemary garlic wheat, and pumpkin bread. There we go. Ellie has gotten us to the next simple set of instructions. Please let us know which kind of bread you would like when you come to the altar. And if you are on Zoom, feel free to share with someone who is with you or simply to take your bread when you are moved to do so while we are doing the same here in the sanctuary. Let our Thanksgiving bread communion begin.
So there's a problem with being the last to get the bread and the next one to speak. So give me a minute. But maybe that's actually instructive of how we can and perhaps should cherish and savor the moment and the gift of life that we have received from one another. May our bodies and spirits be nurtured by this communion and this community. Our closing words this Thanksgiving Sunday morning are from the Reverend Barbara Peskin. May the glory of autumn lie about us like fresh gold for a time. May we bask in its beauty. And when the dark comes, may we remember how today we stand in glory, how we walk in bounty heaped upon earth's carpet, and how we move knee-deep in abundance, flung far and wide against the night's winter curtain. Let us be thankful for this coming and this going. Let us be thankful for it all. Amen. Now please rise in body or spirit and join voices in singing our closing hymn, which is called simply the Thanksgiving Hymn. The words will...
We sing now together our song of thanksgiving, acclaiming creation whose bounty we share. For love that enfolds us and helps and heals and holds us, we sing our hymn of praise for the life that we bear. We gather together to join in the journey, confirming committing our passage to be a true affirmation through joy and tribulation, when bound to human care and hope, when we are free. We sing of the unity now in the making. We offer our mind and our heart and our hand, aware of our blessings and gratefully receiving. We pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand.
Now let's join hands around the sanctuary and maybe wave to Zoomers and bring them in metaphorically and digitally as the circle opens up. All are welcome. And there's leftover bread too. Just want to make sure you know that. There's still more pumpkin bread and other kinds too. May the Spirit of life, that each of us possesses, flow from one to the other. May it stay with us. And bring us peace and harmony. Until we meet again. Amen.